Damn it. Hey everybody, this is James from All Outdoors, and thanks for coming back in again. And today I have the Ruger Wrangler Birdshead. Let's get started. Alright, what I have for you today is the Ruger Wrangler Birdshead. It is essentially a bobbed gripped and shorter barreled version of Ruger's Wrangler revolver, which itself is a copy of the Ruger Single 6, which I'm a big fan of. But it is essentially a facsimile of the Colt Single Action in terms of general features as well as how to operate the gun. Now what we have here is a single action 22 long rifle revolver with a 6-shot capacity. It is single action because you have to cock the hammer for each and every shot. And most Ruger revolvers, including this one, has a transfer bar safety. As you can see, that transfer bar comes up and it goes up over the firing pin when you fire around, allowing you to shoot. But otherwise, that transfer bar is in its resting position, so the gun cannot fire unless you actually pull the trigger. Otherwise, you have your fixed non-adjustable sights. You have just a rear notch in the rear and a thin front post, which is actually pretty easy for me to read on small targets, which isn't something I can say for some other revolvers, including the original Wrangler. I really like the sights on this one. It's nice and clean. And as for the sights, it doesn't really help, but the barrel length on this one is 3 3/4 of an inch, which is a bit shorter than the original Wrangler. And in most single actions you're apt to find, but it is just long enough for you to get that loading gate on the side, of course, and an ejector rod so you can eject your empties. When you go for a shorter barrel, you can't really get a good ejector rod or ejector rod stroke. So I'm glad that was included. It's a nice, neat little package, and it is Cerakote finish, not really blued, except for that non-fluted cylinder there. But it weighs in, for me, at about 27.8 ounces fully loaded, which is a little bit lighter than the Wrangler, but not by much. But I tell you, in the hand, it feels muzzle heavy, but it does feel lighter than the original Wrangler. So, with that said, let's load it up and shoot it a little bit. Alright, to load the Wrangler, it's basically like any Ruger single action. You don't actually have to mess with the hammer, bring it back to half cock in order to load the gun. Just open up the loading gate and you can see your chambers there. The cylinder will freewheel both ways, and so you can just put your rounds in one by one. Hopefully you guys can see that around my big meaty hands. Just rotate, put the next one in. Oh, drop the round. Okay, we're fully loaded and ready to shoot. Alright, we step back to 25 yards. Let's see what the little Wrangler Birdshead can do on these steel targets. One paw. Well, I figure since I have the camera on, I'm going to show you how to unload this thing. You have your empty cases, just take your ejector rod and the empties come right out. The ejector rod is nice and long, so no chances of any sticky cases. And since while I had this thing out, I also brought along my Ruger Single 6, so let's go and give it another drill with the Single 6. 5.5-inch barrel, one of my favorite handguns. So Alright, taking down the Ruger Wrangler is a pretty simple proposition, but there is a bit of a catch to it. First, we're going to open that loading gate right here, spin the cylinder, make sure you're empty, and we are. Go ahead and just leave that open. And you have the cylinder cross pin. This is a lot like a lot of other single actions, but you have a cross pin, you push in, you pull out your takedown lever, and your cylinder rolls right out. But there is a bit of a catch here. Generally on these longer barreled revolvers, this will come right out, but in this case it can't. It interferes with the ejector rod, so you have to take the ejector rod housing off in order to really get this out and do a full detailed cleaning. So, something to keep in mind. Alright, I have my paper target at 25 yards. I just want to see what kind of mechanical accuracy the little Ruger Wrangler Birdshead is capable of. I have it loaded up with some Federal Auto Match 40 grain round nose lead. It's a very typical bulk pack offering, and I figured for a fun gun like this, why not go bulk pack? So again, it's a 40 grain round nose lead offering. We just go ahead and take a 6-shot group. So serial arrow. Let's see what these fixed sights are on target. So go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, the shots that I put through, my first 2 shots were outside a little bit, but once I really homed in, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is not a bad little group at 25 yards, especially with bulk pack ammunition. Let's do something else. Alright, you guys might be wondering, well, this Ruger Wrangler is pretty neat, pretty light and compact to carry. This will make a great little trail gun. I think so too. So with that said, I have this loaded up with some number 12 lead bird shot or rat shot, which is pretty common to find if you have to dispatch of snakes and that sort of thing. We're at 6 feet, so we're going to just hit our target. Pretty good. Well, what do you think? I personally really like the Ruger Wrangler Birdshead, even more so than the original version, and I gotta say it's a pretty neat little piece. Of course, there's a bit of a hang-up when it comes to disassembly, and getting those rat shot shells when they expand out is a little bit tricky with that ejector rod, but overall, just shooting it and having some fun with it, and about 200 rounds in, this is a very low density type of review. I definitely recommend it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later.